Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into some absolutely profound historical milestones. We're tracing the path of African American political pioneers and honoring the trailblazers who literally transformed the American political landscape.
Okay, let's dive into this. Who actually broke the ultimate glass ceiling in the U.S. presidential cabinet? Well, the answer is the incredible Robert C. Weaver. But, to truly grasp the magnitude of his achievement, we first have to look back at the decades of incremental, barrier-breaking groundwork that paved the way for that moment.
Section 1. Laying the historical groundwork. These earliest pioneers took massive risks to carve out entirely new opportunities, building a real legacy of courage. Take 1864, for example. Robert Blake, a Union Navy sailor, became the first African American to receive the Medal of Honor for extreme heroism. Then, in 1868, the political arena cracked open just a bit when John Willis Menard became the first African American elected to the U.S. House, though tragically he was denied a seat. And flash forward to 1904, we see pioneers led by Charles Meehan taking a huge leap with the Kincaid Act to form the DeWitt Homestead settlement out in Nebraska. These families faced incredibly long odds, enduring years of sacrifice on the Great Plains to build an enduring community. Let's move to the next era and see how this courage builds right into the political arena.
Section 2. Breaking early political barriers.
Here we see the shift into formal legislative power. It wasn't just about achieving a historical first anymore. It was about the tangible impact of that platform. Take the legendary Shirley Chisholm. She sponsored the SEEK program at SUNY, which gave disadvantaged students a real shot at college through intensive remedial education. She also successfully fought to extend unemployment benefits to domestic workers, which was a massive, massive victory for labor rights at the time. And by 1968, she was elected as the Democratic National Committee woman from New York State. She used her position for practical, systemic change.
Section 3. Robert C. Weaver's historic milestone.
So the crucial point we're building towards is 1966. Robert C. Weaver was appointed as the very first African-American cabinet secretary, stepping up to lead the newly established Department of Housing and Urban Development. The historical weight of this glass ceiling-shattering moment, it honestly cannot be overstated. For the first time in U.S. history, an African-American man sat right there in the cabinet room, advising the president and leading a major federal executive department. It was a complete triumph of intellect, perseverance, and public service, and it forever altered the complexion of American executive leadership.
Section 4. The executive ripple effect.
Now, what's really interesting here is how Weaver's appointment wasn't just a singular event. It actually opened the floodgates. By 1977, Patricia Roberts Harris became the first African-American woman to serve in the U.S. cabinet, also as Secretary of HUD. Then, the late 80s and early 90s brought this incredible expansion. Ron Brown broke barriers as DNC chairman and Secretary of Commerce. Mike Espy took the helm at Agriculture. Hazel R. O'Leary became the first African-American and first woman to serve as Secretary of Energy, and Jesse Brown was appointed Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Weaver's initial breakthrough rapidly rippled across vastly different, vital sectors of the government. And as we cross into the 21st century, that ripple effect expands even further into defense, diplomacy, and science, completely spanning multiple administrations. Colin Powell became the first African-American U.S. Secretary of State in 2001, and Condoleezza Rice followed in 2005 as the first African-American woman in that exact role. In 2009, Eric Holder became Attorney General. By 2015, Vincent R. Stewart made history at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Then, in 2021, Lloyd Austin became Secretary of Defense, and in 2022, Alondra Nelson headed the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. We're looking at a profound ongoing transformation.
Section 5. Validating historical first.
And this brilliantly illustrates the rigorous protocols required to actually verify these monumental firsts. Historians rely heavily on primary databases to get this right. They scour the National Archives to validate military firsts like Robert Blake. They cross-reference NASA's biographical data for space-related pioneers. The Library of Congress is absolutely essential for verifying early literary firsts. And of course, peer-reviewed timelines ensure every single historical milestone is double-checked for complete accuracy. It's a meticulous process, but it's exactly what preserves the legacy of these pioneers with the exactness they so deeply deserve.
Section 6. A legacy of leadership.
So to wrap up our journey from those early homesteaders to modern executive branch leaders, I want to leave you with this final, thought-provoking question. As we look at the deeply respectful legacy of Robert C. Weaver, the man who proved the absolute highest levels of the U.S. cabinet were reachable, What future glass ceilings remain to be shattered by the next generation of pioneers? The American story is continuously unfolding, and the history we've looked at today is just the foundation for tomorrow. It has been an absolute honor to share this explainer with you all today. If you appreciated this deep dive into Robert C. Weaver's incredible achievement and the trailblazers of the executive branch, please like and subscribe to see more video like this. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.